Before November 4th happens, I have a theory that I want to put before you guys about our boy, Eren Yeager. Most likely, this will make Eren fans upset because it's believed by them that Eren can do no wrong, that he is the greatest protagonist of all time, even though he fits the description, at least in season 4, as one of the top 10 villains of all time. Heard the arguments, I've heard them.
He did what he had to do. There was no other way. How would you feel if Titans were eating up your family?
Got you? But like I said before, I'll stand by it every time. There's always another option. Eren could have used his power for a bunch of different reasons. Eren could have continued passing down his Titan powers to defend his people, but instead, Eren decides to pull a plan that makes it seem like Zeke's euthanizing plan. That plan doesn't make sense either, but destroying the whole world is not a great plan either. And it's common sense that it's not a great plan even to the other characters in the show when they all have to try and stop him. His closest friends, the people he has been doing life with ever since he was young. And I think Eren stands have to grapple with the fact that while the series' main characters disagree with Eren's actions for world eradication, why don't you? I get it. It's okay to disagree with the characters. I think we're human beings. Anime fans are mad complex. As being an anime fan and also but most importantly a Christian, and also just critically looking at anime, and I think we can have that conversation. While I do think Eren is extremely wrong for his actions, I mean extremely, I think there is something bigger behind the scenes. My assumption comes from this particular episode in season 4, episode 14. This is after Eren goes on his whole spiel about how Mikasa is a slave to him and that she was created only to care for her master, which is Eren. Armin gets angry and decides to throw hands with Eren, which he ends up getting the brakes beat off him because he can't fight Eren. Armin being bloody and beat up, he then says that Eren is actually the real slave, to which Eren gets offended by this because his whole desire is to be free and to free everyone he loves so dearly. Now, my question is, why would you get so triggered by this if you know what you're doing is certain? One thing that baffles me about Eren is that this guy has the power of the past, present, and future, and we see that when he manipulates Grisha into killing the owner of the founding Titan. With all the power that he has, why can't he do something to change the situation at hand? If he truly has the power to manipulate everything, he can manipulate for a better option. Maybe he's being controlled by something other than his own sheer will. I may be reading into all of this, I don't know, and you can disagree, I don't care. I haven't finished the manga yet, but I think what Armin says is further substantiated in this part here in season 4, part 3. Eren is deeply emotional because the reality of the outside world isn't what he thought, and he starts apologizing to Ramsey because he has to die for his own selfish ideals. Obviously, Ramsey is confused because he can't see what's going on in Eren's head. But I'll be confused too, like, yo, like, why are you saying sorry to me? I didn't do anything to you. What makes me think even more is that when Ramsey is about to be crushed, he sees the original founding Titan girl, Ymir. Her backstory is mad tragic, filled with pain, neglect, abuse. She gets chased out of her village because she's wrongly blamed for a crime that she didn't do, which she ends up falling into a river, and she gets Titan powers and becomes the asset to the village she came from, until she dies and all of her descendants get Titan powers because they have to eat her. It's a very sad story worth future analysis, but not here, because from that pain, I believe that she is the one controlling Eren. Everything that she has went through, everything that has been done to her, why not orchestrate a plan in which you can control everything to get revenge on the human world? Better person to do this with than Eren, the person who witnessed his mom die and become Titan food, and so much so that he could be so angry and wanting to get revenge that he decides to destroy the whole world. People that he believes are his enemies. I don't think Eren 100% wanted to do this plan where he kills sheesh, man, get some water. I don't think Eren 100% wanted to do this plan where he kills innocent people for his plan of preserving Paradise Island and protecting his friends and family. because of his tears and apologies to Ramsay. But I do believe the rage of Ymir is controlling him, or at least the rage of Eren's younger self is controlling him. To be a slave is to act in accordance to your master's will. Eren is mastered by something, and his master is terrible because it requires the death and destruction of other people that don't have anything to do with this conflict. Maybe his master isn't Ymir, and as I think in my theory, his master could be anger, rage, revenge, all of these things that don't produce any type of good. Freedom is being able to do something that produces good for ourselves or the society around us. If freedom means taking that away, then that's not freedom. Sacrificing the world to save your own is not heroic in any type of way, because if freedom involves the deaths of innocent people, that's not freedom. That's genocide. Eren being a slave reminds me of this Bible passage in Romans. For when you were slaves of sin, you were free in regards to righteousness. Do you not know that if you present yourselves to anyone as obedient slaves, you are slaves of the one whom you obey, either of sin, which leads to death, or of obedience, which leads to righteousness? Let's be honest, what is Eren getting from this supposed freedom that he's experiencing right now? Eren let his anger and rage be a master over him his whole life, which I understand. You had to see your mom die in front of you, and from the commitment of declaring war on Titans. From that point, he dedicated everything to destroying his enemies, and when he found out it was actual human beings like him who wanted him dead, he transferred that rage to other people beyond Paradise Island, which got him what? Freedom for the people of Paradise, but the death of everyone else. People that stand Eren talking about him realize that you are mastered by something as well. You may not be motivated to a crazy psychotic killer to destroy the world, but I know you're motivated by other things. Anger from rejection, you maybe got cheated on by a girl you thought was the one, so you enter your villain arc. You were probably bullied by people in school for liking anime, so you're angry now that the whole world pretty much likes anime now. How about looking at things that you probably shouldn't be looking at? Sleeping with a ton of girls, a slave to money, fame, success. Maybe you're a YouTuber like me, so you're a slave to likes, clicks, views, status, subscribers, because you believe that being on YouTube and going viral is better than anything. We are all slaves to something, and like Paul says in Romans, to our masters we become obedient to what they desire, and having the wrong master can lead you down a very, very terrible path. But I have good news for you. Further in verses 16 and 17 it says, "But thanks be to God that you who were once slaves of sin have become obedient from the heart to the standard of teaching to which you were committed, and having been set free from sin and have become slaves of righteousness." Jesus is that good news. Us being slaves to sin, slaves to the world's demand, slaves to our own desires that can lead us down a path of destruction, Jesus comes in. He lives the perfect life you and I cannot live. He dies the death that you deserve. And why? So that you did not have to pay the penalty of death that you owe to a holy God who is just and righteous. Jesus went to the cross on your behalf, bearing on your sin and guilt and shame so that you could experience true freedom. Freedom to live for him in a way that is truly good and beneficial, not just for us spiritually, but for those around us. But the only way you break the yoke of slavery to your terrible master is if you repent and trust and put your faith in a really, really good master who is Jesus. You think my theory is dumb? Maybe you're like, yo, you don't know what he's talking about. He definitely don't watch anime. I don't care about that. That's fine. Eren, I believe he's a slave. But the reality is, it's an anime. But you are actually a slave to something, and you don't have to be if you trust Jesus today. Like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you later.